Hey everybody, welcome back to Diesel Creek. My name's Matt. Currently out here at the Ritchie Brothers Auction Yard, one of my favorite places, where we have made some purchases. Only one of which will be the focus of today's video. If you haven't seen the rest of this series, the link is down in the description. Today, we're here about a crane. Check this bad boy out. It's got a flat tire today that it didn't have when I looked at it the other day with muck, but not too big a deal. I paid $3,500 for this thing, and it's a little old. It is missing the main crane block too. You see, this is just a secondary block. There's two winch lines on this machine. Same with this one over here. I should have bought this one too. This one only sold for $4,000. But see, we're missing one of these. That's going to be an expensive part to come by, I do believe. Oh, look at that. They got that cable just duct taped in there. That's scary. So we're missing a headache ball, but other than that, she's cherry. I'm excited. I haven't heard this thing run. I barely looked at it, but for 3,500 bucks, couldn't go wrong. So it's got a DT 466 in the carrier on the bottom here, and a 453 or 471, I don't remember. Yeah, 453 up top. I don't know what the heck that stuff is. Gross looking. But anyways, according to the website, they both run. This one looks like it's got new batteries in the bottom here. I'm excited about it. We're gonna drive this thing home. So me and my buddy Sam are gonna come back here later tonight and try to drive this thing home. We gotta pump out that tire. We're gonna pull it outside of the gate so that we can come back after hours and get this thing. So let me fire up the compressor and throw some wind in that tire. Hopefully she holds. The paint job looks really good on this thing, but I think it was actually done several years ago. It's just got a lot of signs of like rust peeking out of things that wouldn't be there if it was painted last week. Well, I can hear it losing air, so we're fighting a losing battle. That's good enough for us to pull it outside the gate. We'll have to fix that later. Yeah, she's losing air pretty good. That's a shame. All right, so like I said, I did not look at this thing hardly at all before the auction. The website says that it starts up and runs and moves, so here's to hoping. I guess we should check some fluids before we get too carried away here. Yeah, look at that. 2 brand new batteries. Nice. Ooh. I think we're missing a piece here for our exhaust. Oh yeah. Yeah, look at that little DT 466. A Bonnie, a beauty, and a joy forever. Where's the dipstick? Holding the camera. There it is. Oh, brand new oil. Man, this thing was just serviced, I think. I love it. Where do we check our antifreeze at? I guess over here. There's some in the degas chamber. Oh yeah, she's full of fluid. That's good. Man, this thing's mint. We'll worry about the crane portion once we get home. I guess fuel should be the other thing we check. Pretty good bit of fuel in there. Definitely enough to get us outside the gate. Right, well, I jump in here and there's no key. She's not gonna go with no key. That's a major bummer. Rebuilt engine, an 03. Well, I got smart here. I went up to the upper half, the crane, and the key up there was in the ignition, and it's the same key. So we should be good to go here. Contact. Oh, that thing fired right up. Oh, I'm excited. Oil pressure seems to work. Hope the fuel doesn't. Doesn't seem like we're charging. Got to build some air. Oh, this thing sounds mean. We're building air pressure, albeit kind of slow. All right, our air pressure's up. I think I figured out the transmission. We've got a goofy gear pattern. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's goofy. And then transfer case over here, so you got different ranges. 1, 2, 3. So this will be fun to figure out on the fly. I think I'm in low range right now. So I think I'm in low range. Hopefully I can find first gear and just creep on out of here, see if we're gonna move. Oh yeah. Yeah, you don't want to get in a collision with this thing. Brakes are released. The air pressure gauge isn't plummeting, so that's good. Let's see for first gear. Well, the clutch is nice and light. First gear, are we gonna move? No, maybe not. Nope. What's happening? Maybe I wasn't in first. Nope, still not happy. No, we're just stalling the engine right out. Put it first. Get this thing over into first, or what I think is first. Yeah, there we go. We're moving now. Well, still stalled it out though. Gutless as the day is long. What is going on here? Alright, so our transmission is not the transmission that it says it is, because where second gear should be is actually reverse. So we must be in a different gear altogether. So I'm going to try and go where I would think first should be. Oh yeah, look at that. We pull right out in first gear. Nicely done. Alright, let's do this. This thing is going to be tricky to drive home. This thing's awesome. All right, we made it. Safely parked out here outside the gate for me and Sam to come get later. I'm actually feeling a lot better about the drive home now. That thing was kind of scaring me, but just driving across the lot here, it feels really strong. The clutch seems like super light. I don't know if it's a hydraulic clutch or what, but like the pedal is effortless. But it doesn't seem to slip at all, so hopefully we're good. We got a pretty good couple hills to go up. All right, it is actually the next day. It didn't work out to haul it yesterday, so we drove it across the auction yard for naught. But it's bright and early, and we're ready to hit the road. If you can hear some air hissing in the background, it's nothing to be concerned about. It's just an inside rear tire back there. It's got a little small leak. Got Sam here to help escort and make sure we don't die somewhere along the way.
Tow truck.
Yeah, the old F450 is going to be putting in some work if we got to do some yanking. But what do you think the likelihood that we're going to make it?
100%.
Yeah, that's what I like to hear. Optimism. Let's see if this pig's going to fire up today. Contact. Oh. You just can't beat a DT466.
That crane has 99 problems, but def ain't one.
I opened the fuel tank before and I could see fuel and I thought it looks like it's got enough, but I was gonna dip the tank and I never got around to dipping the tank. So I should probably do that before we get on the road because the fuel gauge don't work.
I thought you were gonna tell me you ran out literally like 150 feet.
No.
After pulling out.
Well, let's hit the road.
It's gonna be a long ride. Oh, grabbing a gear. Oh God. It's kind of just billowing smoke from all angles when he's going up a hill. I was just gonna say, I hope the brakes will hold it.
starts backing up.
I feel like this is a good Ford commercial. Towing a crane. She's helping. Maybe more fuel go through the fuel filters.
Alright, well, we're less than halfway on this little adventure, and well, I can't say it wasn't eventful. So we came up that big long hill, and that was the one thing in this trip that I was really worried about, was that big grade. And sure enough, I missed a gear because, you know, it's my first time driving a Grove crane. And after I missed the gear, then the engine started cutting out. So I don't know if we got clogged up fuel filters or what, but the rest of the route is pretty mellow and just kind of rolling. So I'm hoping for the best. It seems to be running okay now, so we're just gonna have to find out. Fingers crossed, here we go.
Is clear ought to go now. Yeah, she's doing it. You're pretty out of the way.
We seem to be out of momentum.
Want me to just car ramrod you? It runs until it doesn't. Runs really well until it doesn't.
I want to test that fuel pump. I don't think it's working.
So there's this electric fuel pump I noticed back here, and I don't know that it's giving us any juice. The old Roadside fuel pump rebuild. It doesn't seem like it's getting power. I guess now we actually have a good connection to it.
Yeah, the moment we're into trouble, my pit crew just springs into action, starts diagnosing all my crap. Oh, I saw a spark.
I don't think you did. Oh, it does have 10 volts.
10 volts. Well, that's almost enough to run a pump.
So, I don't know. It's probably just a bad fuel pumper. Let's give her the direct fire. I'm surprised this isn't a 24 volt unit. Yeah, there's nothing. No spark.
Sure you got a good ground?
No. As good as it's gonna be.
Don't you scratch that paint now.
Yeah, I think we're a fuel pump short on this operation. That would explain why it works until you hit the hill and it actually wants fuel and it's like, nah. Quick parts run for a new fuel pump. Hopefully it does a little more pumpy. We're gonna give it a professional mount job of slapped right in here.
I think everything about this setup skimps on performance.
What? Gurgling sound. Not if you count the gurgling sound. You got that one more hose clamp we need?
Yeah.
I don't see what could go wrong now. This is how you turn the fuel up, kids. You just actually have pressure coming up to the engine.
I can't believe it smoked as well as it did, honestly, for starving for fuel.
Some people know this is a fast fuel system.
It's actually just a fast fuel system.
Faster than zero fuel system.
Quickly installed it. Oh, all the fuel pumps.
We're pumping now, bud.
Perfect.
I don't see what could go wrong here.
Yeah, that won't arc out. Actually, I don't think it would. The plastic's pretty well covered.
You got this beautiful extra tail of the strap package mounting that. I think this would pass a DOT inspection. Let's see what all this fuel pressure will do for her. Oh yeah. I bet it has all the 200 horsepower now.
That's way better.
Snappy. Let's do it. You can do it, girl. Oh, we're getting diesel gas now. Stay out of the way, folks. If only they made Jake brakes for DTs.
Check it out, guys, we made it. Not gonna lie, I was pretty nervous when that thing cut out on the hill in the first leg of our journey. Luckily enough, it started back up and ran just enough to help us get it up that big hill. The F450 was struggling. Sam was driving my truck, you know, in case something like that happened. And so we hooked to it and we were able to get it up the hill safely, out of the way. Didn't cause any accidents, which was what I was really concerned about. The brakes held out good, so no concerns there. So, as you guys saw, we had to throw a little 12-volt fuel pump on it just to make it back here. Not a big deal. That's an easy enough fix. I will not complain about that one bit. I'm excited about this thing. I was just talking to buddy Lord Muck about it, and as he would say, that is a proper crane. So, indeed it is. As you guys know, I have some lattice boom cranes, some old friction type lattice boom cranes, and I've also got a couple trucks with knuckle boom cranes on them. And I also have the first crane I bought, which is a Ford truck crane. This blows all those out of the water, okay? I still haven't heard the upper half run. It's a Detroit, so I have all the faith in the world, plus the website said it ran, so feeling pretty confident that it's gonna fire up. One of the things I'm thinking about doing with this crane is lifting the roof off the shipping container shop. Probably not too many of you guys watching today were around back when this building got put together, but I did do it on the channel. It was one of my earlier videos. And the roof system on here, which everybody asks about, it was like a prefabbed building unto itself. I bought it secondhand, so it was dismantled and I just reassembled it. Well, there were extra roof legs because it was a freestanding structure, and then I just shortened it and put it on top of the boxes. At the time, I thought I'd never need that much extra height for what I was doing out here. Things have changed a bit, and I could use that extra ceiling height. So I'm thinking with this crane, I should be able to just lift the entire roof off if I have some spreader bars. I'll lift the entire roof, and I can just basically put the legs on all those posts on either side and reinstall it. That'd be a heck of a project, but honestly shouldn't be that terrible. There's only 2 electric lines I'll have to disassemble and take that sheeting off the sidewalls, which I wanted to do anyhow, because I'd like to put lean-tos off both sides of this building, really, and it would get me a lot more clearance on the outside edge too if I did what I'm talking about here. So definitely something on the agenda, I think, but down the road a piece. Doesn't have to happen today or tomorrow. For the crane portion of this unit, we got a 453 Detroit diesel. Oil's good. Just got to check the antifreeze and give her a go. There's a good shot of the Detroit valve cover there, you can see. Look at that, we got antifreeze. A little cloudy maybe, but antifreeze nice and green. Well, the website said the crane portion ran with a jump. Let's hope they aren't lying. Alrighty, let's see what this baby's gonna do. Contact. Sounds like a Detroit to me. seem right. I don't think your Detroit's supposed to stall out under very little load. Alright, well, we're back on our Grove crane here. It's been a week or so for me, but I believe in the last clip there, you guys saw the crane just die on me. It just shut off, kind of like it ran out of fuel. I didn't have time to play with it that day, but the next day I came out here and I hit the key and the thing fired right back up. So I got a little excited there. I ran the boom up some more and I did spin the house a little bit, as you can see. And then it died out yet again. So we have a fuel issue, I do believe. We're going to dive into that today. It did conveniently die with the house in a good location, because now we can get under here to the fuel tank. And I've already taken the liberty of breaking this nut loose with the crescent wrench a little bit and just start to back this plug out of the bottom of the fuel tank here. That's not diesel fuel coming out of there. That's straight water coming out of the bottom of our fuel tank here. So we're going to let that just sit there and drip for a while until we switch over to fuel. I also noticed we have another water separator filter over here. So we'll try to drain that housing out, see if there's a bunch of water in it. There's also your secondary or primary or whatever you want to call it, another fuel filter over here on the engine. And I noticed this at the sale before I ever even brought the thing home. The fuel filter, what's supposed to be in there, is just sitting here tucked up underneath this hose. This thing's been dripping for quite a while at this point. I'm trying to back it off a little more and expedite the process, but I know what's likely to happen is the plug's going to come out and we're going to start dumping fuel everywhere. So I do have a barrel down here underneath of us. There is a lot of water in this tank. My guess is this machine has sat for a long time. There we go. Yeah, still straight water. Anyways, my guess this machine has sat for a long time and this steel tank has done a lot of sweating and condensating over the years, which is all added into this tank. Well, we must have run about a gallon of fuel or a gallon of water out of this fuel tank, but it's finally diesel now. So we can go ahead and close the plug up and we'll start checking the filters. Oh yeah, straight water, just like I suspected. Boy, we get some actual fuel to the engine instead of just water, this thing will probably run great. Wasn't much water in this filter on this side though, surprisingly. This one was pretty much all diesel fuel. Hopefully we got all the water out of the system. I'm gonna go ahead and try to fire this thing back up. Jimmy definitely sounds a lot happier now. Oh, I'm excited. I suspect from here on out this is going to be a very uplifting video. Well, I found our first operational flaw with the unit. The swing brake does not appear to be working, so there's a hand brake right there next to the operator's seat. I didn't actually believe that this was serving any purpose, and I still not for sure what it's doing because it doesn't appear to affect anything. I've tightened it up as much as I can, and we still got no swing brake. I was under the impression that this thing would just automatically apply the swing brake. Every other hydraulic crane that I've messed with, that's what it does. Alright, so our swing brake appears to be this deal right here. It's just like a forklift parking brake pretty much. And that should lock your swing. Now it's doing something. I have it adjusted as tight as I can get it, but it's not doing enough to stop us from swinging. Part of that could be because we're not level. You never really want to operate a crane unless you're level. The reason we're not level is because that outrigger isn't working. So to make the outriggers go up and down, there's a button for each outrigger, and there's also a button for each outrigger extension. So all the extensions worked. 3 out of 4 of the outriggers actually go up and down. Number 4 here does not go up and down. I popped that rubber off of there just a minute ago. It was rotted and breaking off anyways. We actually have a couple spare ones just chilling here, like they were going to replace them and never did. Anyways, I'm suspicious of the button first of all. So this is just a momentary switch. You have to hold that button and then you run the hydraulic pedal down here on the floor, what's for putting your outrigger up and down. So I got to pop this panel off of here real quick, and then we'll throw a multimeter on that button and see if we're getting continuity out of it. All right, well, that button is not our issue. It appears to be working. All right, well, it took about a half an hour of poking around on this machine trying to find it, but I finally found the hydraulic solenoid block here, and lo and behold, the one that controls that outrigger has a missing ground wire. So I'm gonna do a couple wire repairs here, and then hopefully we have a good outrigger. Well, it's still not really pretty, but I was able to clean this up a little bit, get some better connections, get that second solenoid connected to the ground. Fingers crossed, let's fire it up and hope this thing works. Hey, it works! Yes! We got that outrigger working, as you guys saw, and I got the crane completely leveled up now. I had to use that 2-foot level on the actual chassis of the truck because the in-cab level, well, it must be out of adjustment or not true or whatever. As you can see, we got all the wheels up off the ground and everything completely level. We are ready to make our first pick. The very first pick we're gonna make with this thing is not crazy heavy, but I sure couldn't lift it by myself, and we are gonna need this thing to make the rest of the big picks. We got the hook block that we needed. It has 4 shivs in it, so we can hook this thing up to the main hoist because we're running off the auxiliary line right now. So this thing is going to go on the main hoist and we will be able to lift 60,000 pounds. I'm excited. What I've also got here is a cable sling, and I bought that because it has some nice long legs on it. We should be able to pick up containers with that sling. Alright, so I've put the boom tip close to the ground here so that we can figure out exactly, well, the configuration of the boom, because yeah, it looks like there's a manual pin section here. So you got 2 power telescoping sections, and then it looks like this section here has to be manually extended and then pinned. Not sure what's going on with that. Also, this thing here looks like it flips up or something. Yeah. It flips up and pins into that thing. I have no idea why or what for. One on both sides. Maybe that's something to do with the jib. I really couldn't tell you. But it looks like if you wanted to extend the red section here, you'd pull this pin out. Somehow slide that boom out. Maybe there's a procedure for it that I'm not aware of. And then pin it in place. I don't think we're going to need that section for most of the work that we do. So if you are more familiar with cranes than I am, please let me know down in the comments what that flipping bar thing does on the top there, and also if there is a easy way to slide that last extension out. Clearly it has to be done manually. So to rig up our new block, we are going to have to pull the cable out of the main hoist, run it all the way down the back of the boom here. I believe we go over the center sheave here. From there, I'm not real clear. Maybe we go down over this end. I'm not positive. Anyways, we will end up going over one pulley through the same pulley on the block, back up the next pulley, same pulley on the block, end up filling up all 4 of these. So obviously this is your main drum, this is your auxiliary drum, this is the line that we're working with at the moment. Looks like the main hoist cable broke at some point, or they just cut it off poorly and let it strand out, one or the other. The cable appears to be in pretty good shape. There's a little bit of surface rust going on the outermost layer, but the rest of it looks like it's been well oiled. It was probably all well oiled when this thing sat, and this is the surface that saw the most weathering. Anyway, we got to string that line, run it all the way down our boom here. This is the part where things get fuzzy for me. I better try to find a manual for this thing. Where there's a will, there's a way, baby. As luck would have it, they left the 5/8 termination becket in the cab of the truck part. That'll just go on here like so, and we gotta put our cable in it. Alright, we covered this in the video of me putting new cables on the 22B shovel. People went full-on crazy keyboard commando on me because I did that right there. They said, "Oh, you're saddling a dead horse, ah!" That clamp shouldn't do anything. All that clamp is there to do is to prevent the dead end from possibly sliding back through the becket. If all goes right, it should never ever move anyway. This is just an extra insurance policy. There's no other way to clamp it. If you clamped it on this side, you would be taking up the load and not letting the Beckett do its thing. That is done as per the Crosby instructions. Going up. That looks more gooder. Well, that beautiful little cable sling that we bought really came in handy. That thing's just about perfect for picking up these 20-footers. It's going to be a little bit short for the 40-foot boxes, but I think we can add on to it and be just fine. Great success. Well guys, I don't know about you, but I don't think I could be happier with this purchase. I am quite frankly tickled to death with it. Everything went just about as well as you could have asked it to. We could probably still use to go through some things on the crane here, do a little oil change, some stuff like that, but nothing too serious. Everything's working pretty great. I really can't complain one bit. For $3,500, I'm pretty sure we stole it. Anyways, I hope you guys had as much fun watching this video as I did making it. If you did, let me know down below by either leaving a comment or at least hitting that little thumbs up button down below the video. It really helps out the channel and doesn't cost you guys a dime. If you'd like to help support the channel in a little more direct way, head on over to dieselcreek.com. Pick yourself up some sweet swag over there. We've got hats, t-shirts, beer koozies, sticker packs, all that and more over at the store. That's dieselcreek.com. Link is down in the description. But anyways, guys, that's all I got for today. As always, thank you guys for watching. I'll catch you on the next one. Later.